Week 12 in the Big Ten begins Friday night with Minnesota and Oregon. Saturday here on the Big Ten Network, we have Wisconsin, Indiana, followed by Iowa, USC. Illinois in search of back-to-back 10-win seasons at home taking on Maryland. Ahead of that game, Ashley Adamson caught up with everything Illini linebacker Gabe Jacas.
Gabe, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for making some time ahead of the game with Maryland this weekend. I hope everybody's feeling recharged after the bye week and, of course, that win over Rutgers. Where are you guys at coming into this final home stretch? 3 games left to go in the regular season.
Yeah, we feel pretty strong, pretty confident about this, this week, and just coming out the bye week, just a chance to recover our bodies and just rejuvenate ourselves. We feel pretty strong, and we're pretty much together as a team, and we're counting on each other, and it's just, as I said, we feel pretty good coming in this week.
I imagine the bye week is always more enjoyable when you're coming off of a win, especially a strong win like you guys had against Rutgers. You lock up bowl eligibility, and it felt like just one of the more complete wins of the season. You had a couple of sacks, and afterwards, you said a few times in your post-game press conference that you were just having fun out there, and that was sort of the mentality that you wanted. Why was that such an important mindset for you, especially after that Ohio State and Washington stretch?
Yeah, I feel like, that was the main thing. We all played this game, growing up, having fun. So why not, go out there and, do the same thing. Just a game that we played, that we've been playing since we were 5, 6 years old. So, that was kind of the main point, just going out there, having fun and, playing free and playing aggressive. And, that's what we did.
And that's what it looked like. At what point in the week, I know you watch a lot of film, at what point in the week do you usually start to get a feel for what an offense might give you when maybe, I don't know, which moves in your bag might work this week?
Yeah, I feel like, beginning of the week, we just do a good job of explaining early downs. And, I watch the tackles, a lot, during the week. And, obviously I watched a lot of their games. So I feel like early in the week, I just get a tell on their game. And, I just pretty much just, during practice, repetition, it's just comes pretty fluent. So I say close to the game, I just feel comfortable and just, trusting the game plan that, I can trust in the coach and everything that, everything will go the way it should.
Gabe, as someone who is never going to sack a quarterback, I don't think that's in my future. Can you just paint the picture for me? What does it feel like when you actually finally get home?
Yeah, it's one of the best feelings, Obviously, there's a lot of good feelings in the world, but sacking the quarterback got to be at least top 3 best feelings, if not top, number 1 feeling in the world. So, because it's just hard work. It's a lot of good guys in college football, and, it's hard work getting back there. So once you finally get it, it's one of the best feelings.
I know that you were a 2-time state champion wrestler in high school. I'm curious, how does your wrestling background show up in the way you play football?
Yeah, I'll say mentality. Definitely mentality does a big part, translating from wrestling to football and just, hands. Especially in my position, you got to have good hands. So being able to translate wrestling to football and having good hands, it definitely helps. It definitely gives me an edge.
Where did that competitive drive first come from for you? I mean, I think at some point it's innately in you, but there's usually sort of a moment when you realize that you've got a different competitive edge than other people.
Yeah, honestly, my first wrestling match, I won it. As hard as the sport is, me winning my first match just showed how competitive I could be and how much I fell in love with the sport. And then from there on out, I just always wanted to win everything I wanted to do. So that's where my competitive nature came from. And I'm just glad that, wrestling had brought it out of me.
Well, there's no question. And I don't want to start any controversies, but wrestling or football, which one pushes you harder?
I'll say definitely football. That's my baby. Wrestling always has a special place in my heart. And I'm just thankful for the sport, but football is where I'm at, and where I continue to keep getting better in stride.
Well, it's fun to watch, and I want to ask about your family. We talked about your brother. I know your family's from Jamaica, and you said a lot of what drives you is making them proud and playing for them. Your brother's been a huge influence. The journey piece that the Big Ten Network did, I think everybody who saw it fell in love with your mom, Paula. Yeah. So I got to ask you, what's something you've learned from your mom that you carry with you?
I feel like for my mom, just perseverance. Been through a lot of things in life, and she never gave up on us as kids and never gave up on herself. So I feel like perseverance is one thing I always carry no matter what I go through in life, just always to continue to persevere, never give up. And another thing is respect. you must demand respect from other people. You just got to give it too. So the things I carry, my mom's awesome. Obviously from the Big Ten journey. She's the reason why I'm here, and I'm just thankful to be raised from a mother like that. That's been through a lot, and I don't know if she knows, but she's my rock, she's my everything, and everything I do is for her. So I'm just appreciative for everything she's done, and those are the things I know I got from my mother, and I continue to keep in my life, and you know just keep going.
I couldn't love that more. Last thing, just from the journey piece, your sister gave you one of my favorite compliments. She said that you love to learn and you're not afraid of being corrected, which none of my three siblings would ever say that about me. So I admire that in you.
Yeah.
What allows you, though, to stay open like that, to keep growing no matter how far you've come? Because you have come a long way.
Yeah, I think my brother, just him being my coach, like it was kind of like, a big bro, but also like my coach. So, I never really wanted to be, I know everything, just because like, it was my brother, so he knew more than me. So I always was open just to listen to him, and if anything was wrong, like I was always coachable. So I think just him being my coach, I was able to just continue to get better, and never get truly satisfied, content, complacent just in anything I do. So I just want to keep getting better. And if any coaches have anything I can get better at, I'm always willing to learn. I never want to be the guy that says, "Oh, I know it all," and I got it everything going for myself. So that's where I pretty much got it from.
Well, and I know that's why coaches love to coach you. Last thing, and we'll let you go on this. A game against Maryland this weekend, their offense starts with Malik Washington. They've got a terrific young quarterback. He's mobile, he's confident, he can extend plays. What's the focus for you and this defense and containing a quarterback like that, and just trying to build on what you guys did against Rutgers?
Yeah, obviously good players. The quarterback's freshman quarterback, just like you said. Talented player. And respect to all their players. Especially on their defensive side. They got a lot of good players that's young, and we just got to keep stay together and keep a roof over our head, and just keep him in the pocket. He can be pretty elusive. So we just got to get after him any chance we can, and play together, and just keep playing aggressive as we been doing, and just play as a family.
All right, Gabe Jacas, appreciate your time. Good luck on Saturday and enjoy these last few games of your senior year.
Thank you again. Thank you for having me.